Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I hope you are having a peaceful day. Today, I want to tell you a very special story. It is a story about a woman who changed science forever. She discovered two new elements. She was the first person to win two Nobel Prizes. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. She was the first woman to teach at a famous university in France. But her life was not easy. She faced many challenges. People did not always believe in her. She worked in difficult conditions. Her story is full of curiosity, hard work, and great discovery. Can you imagine discovering something new that no one has ever seen? Can you imagine winning the highest prize in science not once, but twice? This woman did all of this. Her name was Marie Curie. If you enjoy learning English through stories like this, please subscribe to our channel. Your subscription helps us bring you more beautiful stories for your English journey. Marie Curie was not born with that name. She was born in the year 1867. She was born in Warsaw, a city in Poland. Her name was Maria Skłodowska. Her family called her Mania. Poland was not a free country at that time. A powerful empire called Russia controlled it. The Russian government did not want Polish people to learn their own language or culture. In school, students had to speak Russian. They could not speak Polish. This made Maria very angry. She loved her country. She wanted to be free. Maria's parents were teachers. Her father taught physics and mathematics. Her mother was the director of a girls' school. They believed in education. They filled their home with books and learning. But their life was hard. Russia took away her father's job because he was too Polish. The family lost their money. When Maria was only 8 years old, something terrible happened. Her oldest sister, Zosia, got sick and died. 2 years later, her mother died of tuberculosis. Maria was only 10 years old. She lost her mother and her sister, but she did not give up. She worked hard in school. She was always at the top of her class. Maria dreamed of going to university, but in Poland, girls could not go to university. The only way to get a higher education was to leave the country. Maria and her sister Bronia made a plan. They would both go to France to study, but they had no money. So Maria worked as a teacher and a governess for many years. She sent money to her sister in Paris. She waited. She saved. She never gave up on her dream. Finally, in 1891, Maria got her chance. She was 24 years old. She took a train to Paris. She had very little money. She had a long dress that was not warm enough. She had some food for the journey. She arrived in Paris with almost nothing but her dream. Paris was a new world for Maria. She enrolled at the Sorbonne, a famous university. She registered her name as Marie the French way. That is how Maria became Marie. Marie lived in a small, cold room near the university. She had no heat. She had no food sometimes. In winter, the water in her room froze. She put all her clothes on the bed to stay warm. She ate only bread and butter. Sometimes she fainted from hunger, but she loved to learn. She went to class every day. She studied in the library until it closed. She worked harder than anyone else. In 1893, Marie passed her physics exam. She was first in her class. In 1894, she passed her math exam. She was second in her class. She was becoming a scientist. That same year, Marie met someone who would change her life. His name was Pierre Curie. He was a scientist too. He studied crystals and magnetism. He was 35 years old. They met through a friend. Pierre was immediately impressed by Marie. He saw that she was smart and serious about science. He asked her to marry him. Marie was not sure at first. She wanted to go back to Poland. She wanted to help her country. But Poland still was not free. She could not do science there. Pierre told her, "You cannot be a scientist in Poland. Stay in Paris. Work with me." Finally, Marie agreed. They married in 1895. Marie became Marie Curie. It was a perfect partnership. They worked together, thought together, and discovered together. For her doctoral research, Marie needed to find a topic. She was interested in something strange. A scientist named Henri Becquerel had discovered that uranium gave off mysterious rays. These rays could go through paper and metal. They could make an image on a photographic plate. No one understood what these rays were. Marie decided to study them. She called this property radioactivity. Pierre was so interested that he stopped his own research to help her. Together, they began a long and difficult journey. Marie needed a place to work. The university had no space for her. Finally, they found an old, broken-down building. It had been used as a medical school. The roof leaked. The floor was dirt. It was cold in winter and hot in summer. There was no proper equipment, but Marie did not care. She said later that the best years of her life were spent in that old shed. Marie tested many materials to see if they gave off rays. She soon discovered that a mineral called pitchblende gave off much stronger rays than uranium. She realized there must be something new inside, something no one had ever seen before. She was right. In 1898, Marie and Pierre announced they had found a new element. They named it polonium, after Marie's homeland, Poland. A few months later, they announced another new element. They named it radium, from the Latin word for ray. But other scientists were not sure. They said, "If you found a new element, show it to us. Give us proof." Marie knew she had to separate pure radium from the pitchblende. This was an enormous task. Pitchblende is a heavy, dark mineral. It contains many different elements. To get pure radium, Marie had to process tons of pitchblende. She worked for 4 years in that cold, dirty shed. She carried heavy bags of pitchblende. She stirred boiling chemicals with a large iron rod. She breathed in dangerous fumes. She did not know that these materials were slowly poisoning her. She worked day after day, year after year. Sometimes she was so tired she could not sleep, but she never stopped. Finally, in 1902, Marie succeeded. From tons of pitchblende, she got 1/10 of a gram of pure radium. It was a tiny amount smaller than a grain of rice, but it was enough. She had proven that radium was real. In 1903, Marie Curie became the first woman in France to receive a doctorate. That same year, something even more amazing happened. The Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to Henri Becquerel and to Pierre and Marie Curie. Marie was the first woman ever to win a Nobel Prize. But the joy did not last long. Marie was sick. She had worked with radioactive materials for years without any protection. She had burns on her hands. She was always tired. But she did not stop working. In 1904, Marie and Pierre had a second daughter. Their first daughter, Irene, was born in 1897. Now they had 2 girls. Marie loved her children. She worked and took care of them at the same time. It was not easy, but she did it. Then tragedy struck. On the 19th of April, 1906, Pierre Curie died. He was walking in the rain in Paris. He stepped into the street and was hit by a horse-drawn wagon. He died instantly. Marie was destroyed. She wrote in her diary, "They filled the grave and put a wreath of flowers on it. Everything is over. Pierre is sleeping his last sleep. It is the end of everything." Marie was only 38 years old. She had 2 young daughters. She had no husband. She did not know how to go on. But she remembered what Pierre always said. "Whatever happens, even if you are without a husband, you must continue your work." The university asked Marie to take Pierre's job as a professor. She was the first woman ever to teach at the Sorbonne. In her first lecture, hundreds of people came. They wanted to see this famous woman. Marie walked into the room. Everyone was silent. She began exactly where Pierre had stopped. She said, "When one looks at the progress made in physics in the past 10 years, the crowd understood." She was honoring her husband. She was continuing their work. In 1910, Marie succeeded in isolating pure radium metal. This was even harder than getting radium salt. It was a great scientific achievement. In 1911, Marie won another Nobel Prize. This time, it was in chemistry for her discovery of radium and polonium. She was the first person ever to win 2 Nobel Prizes. No one else had done this before. It was an amazing accomplishment. But the same year, something terrible happened. A French newspaper wrote bad things about Marie. They said she had a relationship with another scientist, Paul Langevin. Langevin was married, and his wife was angry. The newspapers attacked Marie. They called her a foreign woman who destroyed families. Some people wanted her to leave France. Marie was hurt deeply. She was sick. She was weak. She went to England to hide from the press. Albert Einstein, another great scientist, wrote her a letter. He said, "Do not read what they write about you. They write to sell newspapers. You are the greatest scientist of our time." This helped Marie feel a little better. In 1914, a big war started in Europe. It was World War I. Germany attacked France. Paris was in danger. Marie did something amazing. She took all the radium from her laboratory and put it in a heavy lead box. She took a train to Bordeaux, a city in the south of France. She hid the radium there to keep it safe from the Germans. Then she came back to Paris. Marie wanted to help the wounded soldiers. She knew that X-rays could help doctors see inside soldiers' bodies. They could find bullets and broken bones. But the army had no X-ray machines. So Marie created them. She took X-ray equipment and put it in cars. These cars were called Little Curies. She drove them to the front lines. She trained herself to be an X-ray technician. She even trained other women to do the same. Marie's daughter Irene was only 17 years old. She went with her mother. They worked together near the battlefields. They helped save many soldiers. Marie worked so hard that she got sick again. But she did not stop. She helped until the war ended in 1918. After the war, Marie continued her work. She became famous all over the world. She traveled to many countries. People gave her awards and honors. She used her fame to raise money for science. She started the Radium Institute in Paris. Scientists from all over came to study there. One of them was her own daughter, Irene. Irene married a scientist named Frédéric Joliot. Together, they also won a Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 1935. The Curie family had 5 Nobel Prizes in total, more than any other family in history. But Marie's health was getting worse. Years of working with radiation had damaged her body. She had cataracts in her eyes. She had burns on her hands. She had a blood disease called aplastic anemia. Her body could not make enough red blood cells. She was always tired and weak. On the 4th of July, 1934, Marie Curie died. She was 66 years old. The doctors said she died from her long exposure to radiation. She had given her life for science. She was buried next to Pierre in a cemetery in France. But her story does not end there. In 1995, the French government did something special. They moved Marie and Pierre's remains to the Panthéon in Paris. The Panthéon is a famous building where France honors its greatest heroes. Marie was the first woman to be buried there for her own achievements. It was a great honor. Even her notebooks are still dangerous. They are so radioactive that they are kept in special lead boxes. If you want to look at them, you must wear special clothes. They will be dangerous for another 1,500 years. Marie worked with these materials every day, not knowing the danger. Why do we still remember Marie Curie after all these years? Because she was different. She was a woman in a world of men. When she started, women could not even go to university in her country. But she did not let that stop her. She fought for her dream. She showed us the power of hard work. For 4 years, she worked in a cold, dirty shed. She carried heavy bags. She stirred boiling chemicals. She never complained. She never gave up. She believed in what she was doing. She showed us that curiosity matters. She did not study radium because she wanted to be famous. She studied it because she wanted to understand. She asked questions. She looked for answers. She wanted to know why. She showed us that science is for everyone. She did not keep her discoveries secret. She shared them with the world. She believed that knowledge should help people. Her work led to treatments for cancer. X-rays, which she helped bring to the battlefield, are still used in hospitals today. She showed us that we can overcome tragedy. She lost her mother when she was 10. She lost her husband when she was 38. She was attacked in the newspapers. She was sick for much of her life. But she kept working. She kept discovering. She kept helping others. She made mistakes too. She did not know that radiation was dangerous. She worked without protection. She brought radioactive materials into her home. She carried them in her pockets. She did not understand the danger until it was too late. But we cannot blame her. No one knew back then. She was exploring a new world, and no one had maps. Marie Curie showed us something important. She showed us that intelligence is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is about working hard, staying curious, and never giving up. It is about asking questions and looking for answers. It is about using your knowledge to help others. Today, when we learn English, we are doing something similar. We are working hard to understand a new language. We are asking questions. We are making mistakes and learning from them. Every word we learn is like a small discovery. Every sentence we understand is like a small victory. Just like Marie Curie worked in her laboratory for years to get 1/10 of a gram of radium, we work every day to learn new words and new grammar. It takes time, it takes effort. But in the end, it is worth it. Because learning English opens doors. It connects us to new people. It helps us understand the world better. Marie once said, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less." This is true for science. It is also true for language. When we understand more, we fear less. When we can speak, we can connect. When we can connect, we are no longer alone. So today, as you listen to this story in English, remember Marie Curie. Remember that she started with nothing, a poor girl from a country that was not free. She had no money, no support, no encouragement from the world, but she had something inside her. She had curiosity. She had determination. She had a dream. You have those same things. You are learning English because you have a dream. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to study. Maybe you want to work in another country. Maybe you just want to watch movies and understand them without subtitles. Whatever your dream is, you can achieve it. It takes time. It takes work. But it is possible. Marie Curie proved that one person can change the world. She discovered new elements. She won 2 Nobel Prizes. She helped save soldiers in war. She started research that led to cancer treatments. All of this came from one woman with a curious mind and a strong heart. You may not win a Nobel Prize, but you can change your own world. You can open new doors for yourself. You can connect with new people. You can understand new ideas. And that is its own kind of discovery. Thank you for listening to this story today. I hope you enjoyed learning about the amazing life of Marie Curie. I hope it helped you with your English. If you liked this story, please give it a like. If you want to hear more stories about great people from history, please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more content for your English learning journey. And if you have ideas for other stories you want to hear, please leave a comment below. I would love to know which stories help you learn best. Until next time, my friends, keep learning, keep wondering, and remember, every great discovery starts with a single question. Every fluent speaker starts with a single word. Goodbye for now.